TJ Edwards talks about what has changed under new head coach Ben Johnson. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're also going to look at Darnell Wright's performance and ask, can he start getting back on the right track after a solid game against the Washington Commanders? And then also 3 players that the Chicago Bears could be looking to trade at the trade deadline. We're going to talk about all that, plus dive into the mailbag right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host there, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today, y'all. And TJ Edwards talks about what has changed under head coach Ben Johnson. I think this week has been another week of just understanding how Ben Johnson has brought something that the Chicago Bears have been missing, and that's leadership and accountability from the head coaching position for a while. We definitely did not have it under Matt Eberflus, and every time we talk about positively about Ben Johnson, I don't want to all of a sudden make it let's tear down Matt Eberflus. Like, there's a reason he's not here. We all went over that course of time, but it's just a constant reminder of how Ben Johnson is bringing such a needed wrinkle and layer to this team that we just did not have. Now, he said this. This came from TJ Edwards. He said this on 670 The Score. I think this year, more than anything, no matter which way the game was kind of flowing at the time, no one was flinching. We all expected to win. You can kind of feel a calmness on the sideline that we're going to get back in this and make a play. When the offense had the ball, we knew they were going to drive and give us a chance to win. That's more kind of the shift we're having, showing ourselves that we can go win these big games and win them when we're not playing our best either. That's big for our confidence. And that's great. Keep in mind, TJ Edwards is now in his 3rd year as a Chicago Bear. So he's not new to this team. He saw a lot under what happened under Matt Eberflus. And the fact that the Bears are riding a 3-game winning streak, have confidence that even, saying that when they don't play the best, I think that's something that we've all seen, this team not have at times, right? Is that when the games were getting close, we did flinch as a team. We did clinch up as a team, and it was more so let's play not to lose, not let's play to win. This is a different team that they have that mindset that they can win each and every game, that they can make the right plays, and that's been evident with the way that the defense has played, right? There's been some games where the defense have given up well over 300 yards, but when it mattered the most and they needed to the most, they got stops and gave their offense a chance to go out there and win the game. There's been some times where the offense has had drives stall, but when they need to in the 4th quarter, they win that game. Now, the goal is to eventually get to the place where you're not relying on that type of thing to win you games, right? That you are playing more consistently throughout the game that gets you a win. And that's there, right? And eventually you have to get there, but you have to learn how to win. And I think people forget that you have to learn how to win. TJ Edwards also goes on to say this. I think one thing I appreciate about Coach is he's out there with us. You feel his emotion. When things are going well, he's pissed off with us, but he's also knowing that we'll be fine. I love his mindset throughout games. He's been great all year, steady throughout the week, kind of like us. It's awesome to have a coach like that who's in it just like you are as players. It's been good for sure. And we saw that. We all saw the clip after the game. After the last 2 wins, we've seen the clip. After the Bears got their first win under Ben Johnson, we saw that clip. This is a guy that legitimately cares, and not just about winning so that it's something that he can put, in his bulletin board that he got X amount of wins. He cares about winning. He cares about these players. He cares about figuring it out to unlock and uncover the best of what this team can be. And that's not something that we've always had here. And that confidence, it's going to reverberate through the entire roster. And that's what you want. So, yeah, let's spend some time acknowledging Ben Johnson, but not just Ben Johnson, this entire coaching staff. It takes more than just a great head coach for a team to be successful. You have to have assistants. You have to have coordinators. You have to have not only that share one vision, but have, the voice to get through to players. And we've seen that. Look at the number of players that we've seen that we had some question marks about that have been solid pieces under this new coaching staff and this new regime, right? And, of course, with that, a new regime and a higher standard, it's also going to expose some players that just aren't as good as maybe what we thought. But we have a coaching staff now that we can trust and that we can build with. And now we just got to see what that next step and layer is going to be for this team, and we'll see. We shall see. Now, one of the players as well that had a bit of a rough start to their season was Darnell Wright. All right, there was some problems with Darnell. Now, it wasn't even certain that he was going to play against the Commanders, but brace and all, Darnell Wright put together a pretty damn solid game when it came down to it. He was there blocking the spring DeAndre Swift loose on a couple of plays. He led the way, on DeAndre Swift's touchdowns and stuff like that. And so now we're looking at Darnell Wright and asking, can he start writing the ship for it, right? He had a PFF grade of 75.7, the fourth highest of any player, of the Chicago Bears in the game against the Washington Commanders. Now, that's going to happen when you're having more success in the run game and things like that. But Darnell Wright is a guy that is still a big part right now of the Chicago Bears' future. And the Bears got to start getting ready to make a decision on his long-term future with a new contract as well, right? And so we'll see. This season so far, Darnell Wright of PFF, which, again, PFF grades aren't the end-all, be-all, he has 71. He's 27th out of 114 tackles. That's an overall grade. In the run blocking grade, it was 78.9, 11th overall in the NFL. Darnell Wright has been performed really well. Now, the question is how can we improve on that? He's allowing a pressure rate of 2.1% on dropbacks this season, right? He's allowed one pressure in 48 reps. So things look like they're starting to turn around for Darnell Wright with Theo Benedict now the starting left tackle. The veterans that we have on that interior offensive line. Let's see if the Bears can continue this. And I've said it before, that's how you start discovering your run game. I don't expect the Chicago Bears to turn into a top 10 rushing offense. I don't expect that. But we can get much better than what we were in that, considering how the offense ranks in the first year under a new coach and the lack of running game that we've had. This offense has not even begun to scratch the surface of what it can be with this roster. Now, if you add, and Ryan Poles goes out there and adds some other things, that could change some things furthermore, right? But things are looking really good right now for the Chicago Bears, and they're in a good spot. But I want to talk about this article from Bears Wire. Mike Pendleton was the writer here, and he talked about three players the Bears should consider trading. Two I agree with, one I don't, but we'll talk about it, right? The first player he has on the list is Roschon Johnson. He says Roschon has been non-existent for the early stages of the offseason. All offseason, it was believed that the Bears would be players in the running back market, but they only moved to opt to drafting Kyle Monangai in the 7th round of the draft. Johnson has been active for the past 3 games for Chicago, but has not seen the field on offense much. And although the Bears' rushing attack has been very minimal, Johnson has no impact either. Now, he's right. And now Roschon got 1 touch. He got a positive 6 yards. And a lot of Bears fans are saying, why don't we play Roschon more? And I agree with that. But if you're not going to play him, you should look to move him. And if the Bears know that Roschon is not part of their future, this isn't me saying what I think the Bears should do. If the Bears internally know, and the reason they're not playing Roschon is because he's not part of their future, move him. Even if you can get anything back, it's better than not re-signing him and losing him for nothing. Now, it's not a huge risk either, especially with the running back position, but that's just my personal opinion. So I am with Mike Pendleton here. If you're not going to use Roschon, move him. It's just that simple. If you're going to start using him, great. But this thing of him having more tackles than carries, that's not good. So I agree with him on Roschon. Next one is Braxton Jones. And I'll say this. I'm of two minds with Braxton. I could understand trading Braxton. Left tackle is an important position in the game of football. Now, we are starting Theo Benedict there. And I still think that Braxton Jones has some value as a swing tackle. I've always thought that. And so I can understand not being willing to just let him go for nothing. And I can also understand wanting to keep him for insurance. You got Ozzie. Of course, you got, Kieran Amagaje, who hasn't seen much. You got Theo Benedict, who's your new starter. But I think overall, especially with this season, while they're trying to make some moves, they may very well want to keep Braxton to have that depth there. And I can't blame them if that's the way that they feel. But I would be exploring leading into the trade deadline, what does a market look like for Braxton Jones? What's out there available for Braxton? Can you get something back that can help your team right now? And if you can, and especially in a spot that you're thinner in and need more of the help, I can't be mad if you move Braxton. So watch out for the name of Braxton Jones out there as well. And then they list DJ Moore. Now, he does say, first sentence in this, DJ Moore's least likely option on the board here. Good, because so many people now want to talk about DJ Moore being moved. I don't see the Bears doing it. I don't think they want to move a spot of depth yet. They may reevaluate it in the offseason based on how they feel that Luther Burden is developing in Rome and, still having Oz, and maybe they can get a decent wide receiver in round 3 or something like that. So we'll see. But they also say the emergence of Rome Odunze as top target for quarterback Caleb Williams in their second season together could leave the door open for the Bears to make a move with Moore. And I understand that thinking. While I don't think the Bears should move DJ Moore, I do understand what it's rooted in thinking. You have your wide receiver 1 for the future in Rome Odunze. But you need balance there. Otherwise, teams are going to be able to double Rome. And one of the reasons that teams don't do that as much is because if DJ Moore catches the ball and can get some yards after the catch, he can carve up a defense too, right? Not to say that not a knock on Luther Burden or anybody else, but I just think that that's a thing that you don't want to give up in this first season while you're still trying to get your offense together. Now, I will say that, I like to present a counter argument to all my takes, is that if a team comes and they are willing to give you something you absolutely need, and it's DJ Moore stopping you from pulling the trigger, like, for example, I know this isn't the trade room or anything, but if a Max Crosby trade comes down to your openness to move DJ Moore in that trade or not, I'd probably be willing to do that, right? So that's the way that I look at it. We'll see how Ryan Poles views it. All eyes on Poles and what he plans on doing with this team between now and the trade deadline to turn some things around. So we'll see what happens there. But with that said, it is Friday. That means it is Mailbag Day. We got 4 voicemails we're going to get into. This one's from RJ.
Man, what it do, Bears family? Bobby, C-Dub, Hayes, and the big homie Kev. Man, this your boy RJ calling in from Mississippi. It's been a while since I called in. Man, but after last night, I damn near had a heart attack, man. So I had to get some things off my chest, man, and see what y'all feel about it. Man, first of all, one of the Bears' new nicknames should be the Cardiac Boys, because they damn near gave me a stroke winning 2 weeks in a row, 25-24 on a game-winning block field goal, then a game-winning made field goal. But you know what? I ain't even complaining, because I had one out there in the hospital smiling from ear to ear because the Birds got them dubs. You damn right. Second of all, man, the culture, man, I think it's finally shifting in the right direction. I was looking at the locker room rant at the end of the game when Ben Johnson, he was praising the team, but one of the first things that came out of his mouth I truly love, he said, man, if we get rid of these penalties, just imagine how we gonna look. And the whole team was like, yep, you ain't lying. Man, these boys bought in, man. I don't want to hear no more about Swift right now, because Ben Johnson said out his mouth, he said, man, the problem wasn't Swift. He was going to tweak some things during the bad week. He trained up some personnel, and them boys opened the run lanes up, man. Swift looked good. And, man, I ain't really worried about trading for no running back, because the only running back I probably really want is Breece Hall. But, man, if you think about it, just ain't finna let him go nowhere, because they're going to have a rookie quarterback next year and need him. Man, Dio, he still ain't doing it for me, man. Hey, the price going down on Trey, make a swing. Defense will be phenomenal. Offense clicking. Boy, you done changed the lyrics. Darnell and DJ played amazing last night injured. Man, DJ went to the hospital. I don't want to hear nothing else about no damn DJ trade. We got him locked up on a good deal. Man, Luther and Rome on rookie contracts. Man, you leave my core alone. Let Caleb have his weapons. And y'all going on somewhere to about trading DJ. Man, other than that, man, I just want to say, man, do y'all think we need another cornerback in the mix? Because old boy Roschon Wright, he got cooked a lot last night, man. It was good having Kyle and Brice back together. Tyreek still doing his thing other than that double move that they got burnt on. But other than that, he was in the run game, man. He was playing. He was doing his damn thing. Man, I just want to know what y'all think about that, man. And them my feelings, man. So, man, I appreciate y'all. Y'all doing a great job. It'll be good to keep listening, man. Y'all do y'all thing.
The Cardiac Bears. I mean, we used to say that about the Bulls, right? Which is funny enough. But you make a great point. The culture is shifting, and it's going in the right direction. for the Chicago Bears. It's evident. That's why I talked about Ben Johnson at the start of this show. The culture is changing. It's still in the process of that, but you see clearly it's not at its finished form, but you clearly see how Ben Johnson and this coaching staff have already begun to change the culture here in Chicago, and we're going and trending now in the right direction. And that's what you want when you do a regime change. You want to feel that as early as possible. And the Bears, I think, are seeing that and seeing the results of it. You make a great point as well about the Breece Hall thing, as far as them not letting them go because probably having a rookie quarterback. That's actually a really good point that I admit I had never thought about. That's a great call out there. Lastly, do we need another corner? I think that if the Bears are going to acquire something, they have other things, bigger focuses than corner. Yeah, Deshaun Wright has his issues, but even in that game, Deshaun Wright made some pretty big plays as well, right? So you're going to have to live with the good and the bad. I don't think there's going to be anything that you can get that's not going to have its fair share of positives and negatives at that cornerback position as it stands right now. Let's get Kyler Gordon back. Let's get him up to speed. Let's hope that the performance from Tyreek continues. And let's see what we have in the depth pieces that we have here as well. And I think that's kind of where our focus needs to be. All right, let's move on. Let's get into the next voicemail, man. This one's from Ant.
Hey, Cognac Boys. Evo, Big Cat, what up? It's your boy Ant, the big homie. I'm calling in reference to two things. A, our division is wide open. Yeah, I know people say Detroit is a better team, Green Bay is a better team. Detroit is injured. And nobody's afraid of Green Bay. We had Minnesota on the ropes when we choked that one. So if you Ryan Poles and you seeing how your team is coming together and you looking at the division long scoping it, do you make a move to get you a elite pass rusher to go ahead and try to get this division right now wide open? Or do you play the long game and depending on where you draft at, do you use your draft positions to build the team long term that way? So it's one of those things to where you see where you're at and you see where you could be and you know what you're missing. Do you go for it right now? Or do you say, you know what, we're going to stick to the game plan, we're going to stick to the schedule, and we're going to play long game here? And two, I'm looking around and I'm seeing that the Colts, the Indianapolis Colts, is a dangerous team, and they did this shit in 1 year. So that's another thing you factor in. Could you make the move now and be dangerous long? Just let me know what you guys think, because I don't want to mortgage the future for now, but right now the time is now. This division is wide open. Let me know what you think. Chicago up, Bears down.
The $1 million question you just asked, bro, is what does Ryan Poles look at this team and say, let's make a splash now? Or does he want to do the more sustainable thing and say, let's hold off on making a splash. Let's get somebody who's going to add to the youth of this roster that's going to develop over time. Let's do that type of thing, the more sustainable thing. That's the two mindsets here. And I can understand either one, right? If the Bears, let's say, do win 2 more games in a row and hit a 5-game winning streak, at that point they sit at 5-2 on the season a week before the trade deadline, then does Ryan Poles say, listen, I want the playoffs. Let's go out there and get a player that's going to help us get to the playoffs now. Or does he look at it and say, listen, let's let this, we have a solid season. Let's let the season come to where it goes to, and we're going to draft the players that we need. I don't know. And either is a valid thing there, and we got to see how they're going to go. But 3 more games into the trade deadline, and let's see what Ryan Poles, let's see what this team decides to do. All right, let's get into this next one, man. This one's from Darius.
What's going on, guys? Darius from Dallas, man. I just wanted to call in and I wanted to give Al Harris some praise, because I don't feel like he gets enough credit for what he's doing. The dude is a mastermind at developing cornerbacks and teaching them up. Go back and look at what he did at Dallas, man. Trevon Diggs and Deron Bland are 2 very mediocre, maybe even below mediocre cornerbacks. But he had those guys looking like Pro Bowlers. Both of them, I believe, were at the top of the league in interceptions, or at least toward it, when they had him. So he has the ability to coach guys that aren't as talented and coach him up, man. And look at what he's doing now that he's with us. And we're sitting here with his first year with Tyreek Stevenson, man. And he went from having 2 horrible games to immediately turning things around. And I do still say we have to find some sort of replacement for Roschon Wright. I mean, maybe he can kind of coach him up and work the same magic on him. But I feel like we got enough cornerback depth where we can give somebody else a shot there and see what happens, because Al Harris has proven since 2020, when he first got the job with the Cowboys, he's proven that within the past 5 years he is the best secondary coach in the league. Look at how Trayvon Diggs and Bland look since he's left. They reverted right back to their same old mediocre. I would even say Trayvon Diggs is below mediocre. So for him to turn a guy like that into a Pro Bowler, that says a lot, man. And when I sat back and look at that, it kind of gives me a little bit more hope now about Tyreek Stevenson's trajectory, because Al Harris is really carrying this team right now. The takeaways that we've gotten, all that kind of stuff, man. He is carrying. I'm not saying that Dennis Allen isn't important to this team. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I think Al Harris is a future star in the coaching realm. I think he's going to get a defensive coordinator job one day. I hope and pray that it's with us. But that guy, he is carrying this team right now, with what he's doing with coaching up those guys in the secondary. And I just wanted to sing his praises for a minute, because I don't feel like he gets enough credit. I don't hear a lot of people. I know we do as Bears fans, but I feel like people don't really understand the gravity of what he's really doing for this secondary. Even Kevin Byard is having a better year under him than he did the year before. So he's elevating this whole secondary, man. So I just wanted to shout him out. Texas up, bear down.
Great call out. Al Harris has been huge for this team. And there's something to be said about how he motivates players and gets the best out of players, as you highlighted there. And you want guys like that. You know what you also did? What you said in that maybe Al Harris becomes a defensive coordinator for us, that's culture. That's what you see winning organizations do, is that they build and develop from within. So some of their next coordinator, and not always, right? They go to the outside sometimes, but they have that next crop of guys. I think that they did that a little bit with Declan Doyle, who say that they're not doing that. Like Dennis Allen is a vet, and he's a head coach at one point. What if a team does come calling with another head coaching opportunity for him in 2-3 years? Is Al Harris ready to be the defensive coordinator by then? If he is, great. He's already familiar with your guys. He's already shown that he can do it from his position coach ability. So listen, that's culture. That's how teams and winning organizations do things. The Bears haven't been able to do that in a while. Can we start to be that? Maybe. And if we are, great. No harm, no foul there. That actually puts us in a better situation. So let's see. Let's get into this last voicemail, man. This one's from Tonio.
Hey, Bobby C-Dub. It's Tonio calling in. Just wanted to give my thoughts on this upcoming game against the Saints. I think this one is definitely going to be a game that will be interesting for the amount of people that's involved in it. Dennis Allen's old team, Caleb Williams versus Spencer Rattler. And then you have Ryan Poe's darling third-round pick, Bayless Jones, coming in. So I don't know if this will be an actual revenge game for Bayless or for Spencer, but it'll be an interesting segment. I'm pretty sure that they're going to probably highlight at some point during the game. But now I'm kind of curious as will they give Bayless more touches at running back just to see if he can actually do what he was meant to do, or the project that he was trying to be with us, or is it going to be more like a regular game? But I really do hope the Bears, and I want the Bears to actually just beat the shit out of the Saints and blow them out of the water and not have any type of competition that it's like, oh, well, we're in a dogfight. It is a trap game, definitely for sure, because the Saints are playing competitive football, and it's definitely going to be some interesting matchups, especially with Rashid Shaheed at a receiver. You know, he has a lot of speed on him. He's not as technical, but he's definitely got some good moves on him. So how does Tyreek match up with him or Newfound Wright or Kyler? And then same thing with Chris Olave. So, it's going to be a lot of interesting matchups to see. And then, I definitely just want to make sure that, or I want to hope that we actually come out with this win and go on a fourth game winning streak and continue this strong rolling season. And also, we want all the other teams in the NFC North to lose. FGB, FDT, FMIN, and fuck them all. So, that's how up. Bear down.
The matchups in the Saints game is going to be hugely important. I take the win-loss record for the Saints out the way, right? Any given Sunday, any team can win on any given Sunday, and matchups are a big part of that, right? So how you match up, how you handle those matchups. Kyler Gordon is going to have a better game than what he had in the first game, period. And I think he has the ability to do that, but he's going to have a better game than that. Tyreek Stevenson needs to continue to be the dog that he has been on that defensive side of the ball. We need to continue to get takeaways. And Kevin Byard has been really great for this Bears team too. So, and Jaquan, don't overlook Brisk. So how we perform in the secondary is going to be important, but also how do we stop the run? We had our best run defensive game last week against the Commanders, the number one rushing attack in the league. Let's go ahead and snuff them out there. Matchups are going to be important, and we have to win some of those individual matchups, but we also got to win the line. And if we can do that, we can get another win. But, it's more difficult to do and keep up that momentum, but we'll see if the Bears can do it because, hey, I would love to be talking to you this time next week about a Bears team that won 4 in a row. So let's hope that that's the case. But that's my time for today, guys. Make sure you guys are following us at Shy Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, chicagobearscentral@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related, but that is thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.